Believe in you.
All right, we're live on YouTube and we're going live on guys, we are just going to have the video from the computer screen. It is going to be awesome. So everybody pay attention and it's going to be all good. Okay, so Erin,
Yes.
I'm going to change us to speaker view.
Okay.
So we see you. All right, so I talked about yesterday, there was someone who posted in a group and they posted that it was, or they were posting like just some struggles and tough stuff that was happening. Oh, by the way, everyone, let me pop back to gallery view. I'm going to just go like this. By the way, everyone, we are doing Coffee Talk Live and Facebook is being a pain in my rear. So we are going to just stream on my phone, and how ridiculous is that? Y'all just deal. But yesterday in the Facebook group, somebody posted because they were really just not knowing exactly what to do and not knowing how to go about things now that their closure has been extended and we're feeling a lot of pressure. It sounded like they're kind of on the border of another state that has been open and they're worried about losing clients and all of this stuff. And what I said was just feeling a lot of pressure from clients because they were frustrated because they couldn't open. And so what they wanted to know was, what in the world do we do? I'm feeling all this pressure. Like, do we open? Do we not? I feel like I want to just get all of these salon owners to like calm down and all of us to be moving forth with solidarity and to say like, we're going to commit to not opening, or for everybody to be on the same page so they didn't feel like there was dissonance there. And the question was just, basically, what do we do? We're feeling so much pressure. We want to show up for our guests. And I just said, you have to decide what your business is going to do, regardless of what anybody else is saying or any other noise, and choose what is best for your business. And then from there, choose what's best for your clients. So I know you guys are so you're very, very good at sort of pushing out the noise and, let's say, closing the door and going into your little den and cave first before you go vet it out to everywhere. And so what are your thoughts right now if you were feeling intense pressure? And I think we all felt this when we were coming to the space where we were going to have to close. There were lots of people who felt pressure like close now or don't close, or all of those things. So I know that you guys, I think you guys decided to close earlier than your state actually closed you down. Mm-hmm. So, what happens when you're going through that process and you're thinking to yourself, like, how am I going to show up? And for hairdressers, don't get caught up in the fact that we're talking about businesses, because this goes to you too, in the choice that every hairdresser has had to make, whether or not they're going to go into a home of a client or not go into a home of a client. It's like every single one of us have to decide what we're ethically going to stand on for our business. And there's no judgment here. Look, I've chosen things. Erin's chosen things for our businesses. Whatever you're choosing to do, like, there's no judgment here. It may not be what I jive with, but there's no judgment here. However, it's like we have to decide what's going on for our businesses. So tell me what that process looks like for you.
Ooh. Well, like the closing down part, I think when you make any decision for your business, you need to make it because it comes from you and what you feel is right. And talk with your team about it as well. Like, if you don't want to have the whole pressure, I think it's even better being open with your team and asking them where they're at and what they want to do. As far as us closing early, yeah, it wasn't mandated, but it was getting scary. And for us, like, our team was scared, our clients were starting to get scared. And we believed at the time, you know what, we're going to do what's right for us. We don't know if we're making the right decision. Everything could shut down 3 weeks from now and we're going to close super early, but we have to be okay with it. And it was probably one of the hardest decisions ever to make. And it was scary as heck because I wasn't following everybody else. But my team really, really appreciated that we did it. And we actually had a lot of guests reach out to us and say, thank you. Thank you for doing your part in trying to keep Fort Wayne healthy. And then shortly after, it did shut down. Like, I think it was like 2 days after. So I think when you make any decision, it has to be because you believe in it and not because somebody told you to do it, or you feel like I need to do it because everybody else is doing it.
So, okay, so here's my next question is, so that's all good. And you said that there were people who really agreed with you and people who thought it was great. Well, what about the fear that sits around people that aren't going to agree? And right now, I think everybody was really patient with all of us in the very beginning because it was like, okay, everybody's having to shut down. And even though there were a couple of people who were a little bit nuts, I mean, we had one woman write a, we had one woman write like the most angry letter to us, essentially telling us how much she disagreed with every single thing that we were doing. And she essentially didn't care whether or not we were doing, she didn't care whether we could get fined. She didn't care whether it was illegal. She was just like, I said that I would sign a waiver. Like, she was upset with us. But for the most part, you know, people are understanding. But at the same time, here we are in the second wave. And I know for us in Houston, this is the third time that people have been told something different. So they were told it was just a week, or I think it was like 10 days. And then it was extended to another month. And then it was extended for 3 more weeks. And it's just been this up and down roller coaster. And now, you know, what was waiting 4 to 6 weeks is now waiting 6 to 12 weeks longer for some people. So you feel this enormous pressure and you feel support from some people, but what about the fear that sits around the support that you don't feel, or the fact that there might be people who don't agree and people are worried about losing clients?
I mean, all that comes to my mind is you're not going to be running with a full staff, right? So you can't accommodate all those people anyways. So, I mean, people are going to be mad. Like, you can't make everybody happy. The people that you can make happy is yourself and your team. And like, if guests are mad because the state or the governor is telling you can't be open, then I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I was thinking about this morning. Like attracts like. Most people in your that come to your salon are like-minded, like who's ever working there. So probably the people that are going to get angry are the people that really don't belong coming to your salon anyways. Let them go somewhere else. We're going to be short staffed. So, I mean, and my other thing is, instead of sitting at home and worrying about all the things that they could go here, they could go there, I can't do anything. Guess what? You do have control right now. You can be doing stuff right now. And it's reaching out to your guests. It's being live as much as you can virtually, like do live videos, send them emails, call them, like check in on them, be present in their lives right now so that they don't say, oh yeah, well, I'm just going to go somewhere else. And I mean, if they box dye their hair, they box dye their hair. They're not, these people aren't going to want to always do that. It's not fun. Do you remember coloring your own hair at home? Like, I hated that. So they might do it to get them through 6 weeks, but someday we are going to open up and someday they are going to come back. And yeah, maybe some of them won't, but you might gain somebody else's salon's people. Somebody else's salon might have appreciated what you've done through all this time and they're mad at their salon. So they're going to come to your salon now. Like, it all is a circle, guys. Like, you just have to be really feel good about your own personal decision with your own business, with yourself and your own team. And don't let other people pressure you into doing things that you don't want to do, including clients.
No, and I think that, so let's reroute to the space that some people might get in. That's not necessarily, it's not because a client is necessarily being awful to them. So let's push in a different direction. What about that just big hearted space that most people in this industry come from when they're like, we don't want our clients to be suffering. We don't want our clients to have to go through corrective color when all this is over. We don't want them to have to deal with all of that. Like, what do we do if we're someone that just has a huge heart and we're thinking about this, like we're still thinking about our clients? What are your thoughts on that? And I have something I want to share after you're done, but just what are your thoughts on that just good-hearted space that we really do come from as professionals and just in this industry, and the way that we really care about people and how we could be looking at it? Is there a different way that we could be looking at it? Like, we're not letting those people down. How could we be looking at the fact that we really, really, really want to serve people, and we know that it's not great for them, and we know that their options aren't great? Like, what perspective could we share if that might be how we're feeling, if we're just worried about our clients?
I mean, if you're worried about your clients and their hair, I would think about your family. How would you walk your mom through this process if she was really struggling? Like, at first, when we thought this is only going to be 4 weeks, sure, do root touch-ups and revive the ends. For some people, like California, they're going to be closed till July, maybe. I just think we have to evolve, and we have to just figure what we would want. What would we honestly do for our best friend, or maybe our mom or our sister? Like, my sister had roots down to here. At some point, I'm going to probably walk her through, okay, you're probably going to need color, because she goes live on Zoom calls and stuff, and she's still working. So I might have to walk her through it. I do know salons right now that are selling professional color, and it looks awesome. It's in a little kit together. I'm not doing it, but if I'm going to be shut down till July, it might be something that I need to reach out to my state board and see if it's, excuse me, see if it's allowed. Like, I've been against it, or not against it, but I've chosen not to do it. But if we're going to be closed longer, it might be something that we need to take in consideration. I don't have any bad feelings about salons that are doing it right now. Like, everybody's got to do what they got to do. And yeah, people's hair, like my mother-in-law is like, I'm about to have your father-in-law cut the back of my hair. It's awful. What do we do? I'm probably going to have to walk him through it, because her hair is thick and crazy. Like, he might have to cut her hair. So that might be an option. Do a virtual walk them through. I hate to recommend a like box color, but I don't know. I don't want to judge people, but I think you got to be open to different options and get creative, instead of just sitting at home and be like, oh, woe is me, and I have no control, and the government tells me I can't work, so I can't do anything. I think you just got to get creative.
Yeah, so when you said the government has control, it's interesting to me because we're licensed professionals. So our businesses are licensed, we're licensed. Being licensed already gives us a set of rules. And I know that might be the rules that we signed up for, but those are the rules that we have to follow. Now we're just being given a couple more rules. We're used to having to do that and modifying the way that we do business within the confines of what's already required of us. Like, that is just a part of the world that we live in if we're running a business in this country. So what I love that you said, and I want to be really clear that nothing that we're saying is a suggestion to do something or not to do something. What we're saying is, again, look at your business. Look at your business. What works for your business? And yes, every single time that something changes, you may have to change. But all of it's going to be dependent upon your business. When it was 4 weeks, maybe it was 4 weeks. When it was 6 weeks, well, now it's 6 weeks. Well, then it's 8 weeks. Well, then it's 12 weeks. If you are in a state where it's going to be longer than that, like, what are the things that you're going to do there? What I love that you said, Erin, is you went to a place of doing what needs to happen, but doing it in the right way. So you said, you know what, I may have to go to my state board. That, instead of doing all of this, just going out in this like great revolt because we're in a victim mentality, like this is being done to us, like somebody put this on the earth to like doom our businesses. And it's like, no, they didn't. Like they didn't. This is a space. It sucks. Something happened. And like literally, there's nothing that we can do about it. And every single person in the entire world is dealing with the same thing. Maybe not in the exact same way, but they're dealing with the same thing. It's a shift. Every single person is having to shift something. And you know what? Even some of these businesses, like we could look at it like there are some businesses that are thriving because their businesses just happen to be really necessary and needed at this time. You know what? Some of those companies are struggling. Zoom, I'm on right now. That company is having a challenge because they have security issues because of so many people being on it at one time. Like there's so many shifts and ways that this is modifying everything for everyone. And we just have to shift. But I love where your head goes to, which is just, you know what? We might have to look at things a little differently. But I love the way that you say it because you're just Erin and you're just like, yeah, well, got to look at it differently. And that's the space that I wish everyone would get to is stop having this reactive mentality with every single thing that we're doing. Jenny said the natives are getting restless.
Yeah, you should have Jenny on about this topic, man. She is feisty when it comes to this topic.
Well, let's set that up for sure. Jenny, send me your calendar. We'll get something set up. Which speaking of, I saw Dana Howard on here earlier, and Dana, I'm ready to get moving back forward. We need to get some of these things going because I know a lot of people have a lot of really great things to offer, and I feel like my life has gotten a little bit more back together as far as my schedule is concerned. But so tell me, how do you keep, because I know you and I've known you for a little while now, and I've known you in a very calm space and I've known you in a very like reactive space. So tell me, how in the world do you look at things from a calm space? What brings that, what gives that to you? What makes you feel not like everything's going to be okay, because every single one of us is still facing some deep-seated level of fear or the unknown or whatever. But what allows you to sit in a space of calm over a space of high reaction? And you know what? I'm going to use the feeling that I have to focus on my business instead of using it to go scream on social media. What is the difference between Erin that I've known before that could get, and I'm talking a while ago, could get a little bit like, yeah, versus Erin now that's just like, you know what, we just got to deal with this.
Erin still has those moments. I mean, I have a lot of them. Ask my friend Jenny. But I guess what I sit in peace right now just because I know I'm doing everything that I possibly can be doing. And I feel at peace because my team is at peace. Like, I feel like we are all on the same page. We're all excited to get back to work, but we're all putting effort to how can we be creative during this time? And while we're being creative, what's working for us? What are we going to continue to do? I just choose to focus on the future instead of, I mean, you have to be present, but I don't want to live in this, like, this is going to be our life forever. Like, we are someday going to be able to go back to work. And if it's not the way that we used to work, it's okay, but we're still going to be able to do it eventually. So let's just try right now, like try all different things. We're doing a lot of lives. Some of them are great, some of them are not great, but we're learning like how to do them, how to be present with our, we call it our curl gang. That's our guests and everything. But how do we be present for them? How do we show up for them? We're doing a lot of like Facebook lives, just quickly jumping on, letting them know what's going on. Curbside pickup, like it feels great to do that and bring out products to our guests. And they're like, we miss you. Like, we have people just buying stuff. Like, I feel like they buy stuff every week just because they want to see us. It's not because, like, they must have 1,000 products in their closet now because they just want to see it. So I guess I come from a place of just peace because I feel like I've been connected with my team. I'm connected with my guests, and that's all I can be. And if you feel like you're scrambling, I would start with home. Start with your home first, your salon family. Get that going really well. This is, even if Corona was never here, the best piece of advice I can ever give, and I know I'm a freak about connections, but getting that connection going with your team will move mountains for you. So that is where, I mean, I can just sit here and be happy and peaceful because I know my team is happy and peaceful, and we're working together to get through this, and it's making us super strong. I don't know if that's the answer you wanted.
I want your answer. I always just want your answer. So I want to shift to just actionable things that we could do that might make us feel better, because a lot of times the reason why we get into a state of frenzy is because we create all these stories in our mind that might not even be true. We either have seen something on social media. One hairdresser in a tiny town in Idaho said that one client said that the whole world was going to explode if they didn't get a chance to get hair color purchase from their salon. Like, there are just these places that we get to where it's like we create a story like it's every single person. So what are some of the most effective things that you could think of, whether they're ideas that you guys have done at Pinup Curls or they're ideas that you've just seen happen across the board, that might make us feel better to understand and know what our clients are actually going through instead of what we think that they're going through, or what we think that everyone is thinking because of one client. Like I said, the one client earlier who like literally just told us, like gave us the what for and told us every single way that we sucked. And I'm saying they were like, she had like 12 points as to how we sucked. But what is it, like all of those people that you're talking about, they're like, you know what, they just want to come see us. What could we be doing just on a proactive basis to not only let our clients know that we care and we're thinking about them, but that also might put us in a different headspace because we really truly know what's actually going on instead of whatever we're creating in our mind?
Reach out to them. I watched something that you had said, I think you were live last night. Reach out to them, ask them how they are. You don't have to, I mean, we haven't personally done this. I love that. I just listened to Ashley last night on her Facebook Live. But that's a perfect way. Just ask them, what do you need from us right now? Like, if I could, or just how are you doing? Like I said, most people, when they're coming for that curbside pickup, they're just like, they just want to chat. They miss connection. They miss being out with people. Like, what do you miss right now? Like, I know for a fact I went in, we may open up Monday. I have no idea if it's really happening, but we're like, let's get the salon ready. And just, there was like 6 of us in there doing stuff. And it just, God, it just felt good just to be around people and talk and just have that connection. I think that's a huge thing that your clients are missing. They're sitting at home too. I mean, they would sit and talk to you for an hour to 2 hours. So I'm sure they're just missing you. So one thing is just reaching out to them and asking, or do lives and ask them how you can serve them. I mean, you don't have to be a prisoner during this time. I feel like or a victim. So many people are like, woe is me. I just give up. I just, whatever. And that drives me nuts. And it drives me nuts that people are like, well, why would I do it? I got so much unemployment. I'm like, that drives me crazy. It's like, have pride in yourself, move forward, get moving. Like, you don't need to just sit still. There's plenty of things you can be doing.
I love that. So you just said prisoner, and I absolutely love that. I know that Tim had put together this campaign, which I just love, which is, are you going to be a victim or a victor? And then it's really, I mean, it is a mindset mentality. It's, are you going to be the victim? Or are you going to be the victor? Are you going to be the one that wins out because of all of this? Because I will tell you, the grand majority of people are stuck in victim mode. And it's those people who are stuck in victim mode. If you decide to get into victor mode, where you are focused forward on what you're going to do to win out against all of this, you're going to win out and you're going to win big, because there will be a giant separation between the people who are in victim mentality and more that victor mode. But from what you just said about prisoner, I had a friend say to me, and this was about something totally, totally separate. And I was really, let's say I just shared something that was happening because I was just not having a good day, like just not having a good day. And there were several things that it had absolutely almost nothing to do with work. It was just like life stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And they said, like you have created, it was essentially like you've created your own cell that you're living in. And I think that it's interesting that we feel like a prisoner, but a lot of times that prisoner feeling that we have was just something that was created by us. And so we have built the walls, like we've built the cell. We are sitting in it and we have the keys to get out of it. And we're not using the keys to get out of it. We are sitting there with the keys in our lap, just staring at it going, holy shit, I am behind bars.
Mm-hmm. And we're actually, people are getting more comfortable and comfortable and comfortable, and comfort is so dangerous. I think that's the scariest thing for me is even with my kids, they're so comfortable not going to school, even though they're doing, well, my kids have e-learning, but my son is introverted, and being home for 8 months, like he is living his best life right now. But it's scary because he's gonna have to go out. He's got to put himself out there to succeed in life. You're gonna have to fail. You're gonna have to make mistakes. You got to do something. You can't just sit still. And I just think the comfort of it, the every week's a little bit, it's nice. We sleep in a little bit longer. We start doing less things. We just, like, it's like, how are people, like, I'm nervous, like when people really have to go to work, especially our hairdressers, they work their booties off, standing all day. So now we've been stagnant, sitting for 6 weeks, maybe some people more. Then you go back, you're going to be working, at least probably an 8-hour shift with stuff on your face, stuff on your hands, new systems. I mean, it's just crazy. Like the comfort of just sitting is scary. Like I don't even know what I'm talking about on it, but I just feel like don't get comfortable. Do something. There's something to learn. There's something to watch. Go for a walk, invest in your own health, like work out, like do nice things for other people. Like I've seen so many, like I've had so many things left on my front porch from people that just blows my mind how sweet people are. But doing stuff like that is just, do something. Don't just sit there. You're not stuck at home. You are allowed to go outside. You are allowed to do things. And just don't get comfortable sitting on your couch and doing nothing.
I love that. So Melanie Pelton just said, that's a real thing. Walk it off. So here's the thing. If you're not back at work and you know that you're going to be having to wear a face mask, face cover, whatever, when you go back into the salon, put that sucker on and go take a walk or go blow dry your hair, do some things that are going to get you used to that. That's a way that you could be proactive because it is going to be different. And if you're used to wearing it, it would be more comfortable. Do a Facebook Live with it on, like when you're figuring out exactly what's going to go on in your salon. And it got me thinking, I saw this just on a personal blog thing or whatever, is that somebody did a 50 burpee challenge. And I'm like, and so it was like for 30 days, they did 50 burpees every single day. And I'm like, this is perfect for quarantine because burpees are the exercise that like suck the life out of you. Uh-huh. However, they also work your body really, really well. And it doesn't take a long time to do it. So what if you put that face cover on and did 50 burpees every day? You'd be getting your body back in shape. You would be getting yourself to a space where you would be able to breathe because you can't breathe during burpees anyway. And so it's like, knock the heck out of blow drying with a face cover, like do 50 burpees with a face cover. Anyway, that's just a thought. I love where your head went. There are ways to get yourself prepared that are creative. And we have to start thinking like that because it is going to be to get back into that muscle memory. I mean, I can remember being behind the chair and going away for a week, which I didn't take a lot of vacation, but I took a lot of education. And I would go away for a week and I would come back to the salon and I would feel like a stranger. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my hands don't really work so well anymore. Like, do I remember how to do this? And it's muscle memory and it's getting yourself back into a routine. So when we've been gone for this long, like there's some proactive things that can definitely be done there. Erin, we started this whole thing with pressure, like a conversation about pressure. Mm-hmm. And my question would be, do you really truly feel that the majority of pressure is coming from the outside, or do you think that we take on that pressure that's coming from the outside and we put the pressure on ourselves, maybe based around the fact that we haven't decided what we really believe or what we really want yet?
That is a great question. And I do think I know I can't speak for the world, but I will speak for this girl. I put the most pressure on myself than anybody in the world does, so I think that pressure comes within because like it's exactly what you said. You haven't had time to really sit and think about it. Maybe you haven't, maybe you've been pushing it off like I'm not, it's going to just go away. And so you have that pressure, or you have the pressure of like, I'm going to change it all, I'm going to do everything, and then it's like, where do I start? But I don't really think it's from people calling and pressuring us, like, or telling us what to do. We see things, we see social media.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what that is.
Is it an alarm?
You're gonna blow up?
Did you set an alarm on your phone? Maybe you have a meeting.
No, it's not on my phone. What in the world is that? There is some crazy person trying to video chat me. I don't know who it is, but oh my gosh, what do I do? How do I stop it?
It will stop ringing in a second. If they're trying to FaceTime you.
Oh my gosh, stop.
They really want to talk to you bad.
Guys, this is absolutely ridiculous. Haley, we have Haley on the webinar.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on just a second. How do I turn? Guys, this is ridiculous. How do I turn my notifications off? Anybody have an idea on how to turn my notifications off?
How could these people really? Doesn't the phone eventually hang up and say you're not available?
I wish. Guys, this is ridiculous. How do I turn my notifications off? Anybody have an idea on how to turn my notifications off?
We're like in a virtual world. Woo. How could these people really? Doesn't the phone eventually hang up and say you're not available?
I wish. Oh my gosh. This is
Maybe we just hang up and start over.
How do I turn my notifications off? Okay, turn that off. Guys, this is absolutely, look, this is like the story of my life, and now you get to see my crazy computer screen. Erin, do me a favor. So oh, there we went. Okay, so I stopped it.
Yeah.
Guys, here's the thing about life and everything like it. Every now and then you get something thrown your way that is just insane, okay? It's insane. And you can either run head first into the freaking brick wall that you feel like you have in front of you. And I'm not saying that you should run into a brick wall. I'm just saying sometimes it feels like that. But I do know that if you put like something hard enough on your head, you can probably break down the brick wall. Or you can just like shut down and quit it. And it may seem like something that is just so minuscule, whatever that call was, because I have no idea who that was. It was all in like Arabic writing. I have no idea what that was or who that was. Regardless, sometimes stuff is going to happen. Let's use this as a learning thing. What I want to tell every single person that's still on here, because I am a sound freak. Like you can't chew next to me. You cannot clank your spoon on your cereal bowl. Like it makes my skin crawl. So the fact that people are still here, thank you so much, because I might have gotten off of it. I really appreciate it. But here's what I want to ask. Anna, thank you so much. I finally muted it. I didn't know where it was coming from was part of the problem. So what I want to ask is anyone out there that has any questions, please shoot your questions. And anyone that feels like this would be valuable, not the little buzzing, ringing that was happening and going on, but the conversation that's going on. We're going to be on for a few more minutes. Tag someone so they can at least catch this later. And Erin, I want to ask, so separate from the pressure, okay? Separate from the pressure. Let's shift to something that can get us in a space of thinking forward. So of everything that we've been doing, and last week we talked about doing things that were timeless, not temporary.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing right now that you know already 100% that you guys want to carry forward? And you're like, man, this is one thing that I'm going to be so grateful for, because if this wouldn't have happened, we never would have arrived to this. What is something that you're going to take forward that you look at now and you're just like, holy, like, I'm so grateful that we had this time, because we're going to get to move this forward?
I have a couple of things that we're doing, but I have a marketing manager at the salon. So we've been doing little nuggets of things like before everything happened. And then when we were forced to be home and we had to get creative, the thing that I'm most proud about and excited about is that we actually have a schedule for our emails. Like, emails go out consistently. We love the curbside pickup. Like, we want to continue offering that service. And why I like it is because my whole team's on board for promoting product and retail sales. Like, we're no longer scared about selling product because we know product sales is what has really helped us through this phase. So I love that. I love that my girls are doing these lives. Like I said, like what Euphoria is doing, they're going live all the time. There's always a live video, and some people might be like, that's too much, but I think it's great. You can choose to watch it or you can choose not to watch it, but at least you're seeing it all the time. You're seeing that it's going out. You see the effort that they're putting into it. And so for us, we're doing lives 3 times a week. And it's on problem solving. Like I said, we're getting better every time it happens because we're learning, like, okay, do this, don't do that. But that is something that we're moving forward, always going to do, because we want to be attracting guests that are not just in our chair. And we've had the opportunity to go through a sales class with Tim, which is amazing, which resonated with all the things that Becky's been telling us about this funnel. And we're like, what funnel are you talking about? Which then when we got to watch Vision Quest the other day and Brett Siva was talking about a funnel, like everything's coming together and all the little nuggets that we've been doing make sense and everybody's on board. So I think the most exciting thing for me is our virtual business. Like, that's going to continue. We're going to have our brick and mortar business, but we're also continue to have a virtual business. We're doing like a little box set, like kind of like I don't know, Stitch Fit, like all those little box things. We're doing one of those now. And that's something that we're excited because we do have a boutique and we want to be a lifestyle brand, a beauty brand. So our boutique items, something from our hair care, something from our skincare, something from our makeup will go in those boxes. So we're super excited about that. Excited about we're calling it Curl Beauty is our boutique. So we've discovered that we need to grow that even more because we've had such success with it. I don't know, there's just so many opportunities. Breaking we call our front desk team our guest sales consultants. We've always wanted to have a mobile front desk, and that's something that's going to happen. We're going to have call center hours. I feel excited because we've really empowered them that they are essential to our business, that they're like everybody in our salon is essential. And we will not move forward without every single piece working together. So I don't know.
I love that. Well, I want to hear from you guys who are watching. Like, send us, just write in the comments, what are your favorite things that you've done? Like, list one thing that you're like, man, that is something that we're carrying forward.
What about you? You're always asking me questions. I'm going to get her, guys. What are you guys doing? What are you excited about?
I think that one of the greatest things that's happened during this time is so the way that we tackled everything is we separated into the 4 key areas that we could see were the biggest areas that we needed, which were sales, retention, outreach. So like marketing, but outreach and education. So we wanted to create, for instance, in sales, it was really looking at several different aspects of the business and how we wanted to be moving things forward and how we wanted to be attacking this. Now in January, I brought on somebody that was already on our team, but he was interested in getting into the business side of things. Oh, the live. Hold on. It was interested in getting to the business side of things.
Mhm.
And we hired him as the sales manager. And when we brought him on, he's just so passionate about everything. And with that passion that he has with everything. So I'm going to tell everybody that it's going to be live on YouTube so they can go and watch it.
Okay.
But with that, his passion for that, we've allowed that to expand some more because he really came out and just knocked it out of the park. I mean, it was one of those things where you're like, we don't really know what this role is going to be. Like, let's see how we go. And just kind of said, like, this is what we want it to be. And he's really run with it. So that's one of the areas. And then like retention. So we're building a smart loyalty program. So a lot of people create loyalty programs just off of feeling and all of this stuff. And loyalty programs are really meant to reward people that do business with you in exceptional ways, not just that do business with you in ways that they would do it anyway.
Right.
So we have in fact, once we get done with the structure of it, because there were a lot of formulas and things involved in creating it, that I think it'd be really helpful and beneficial for businesses. That might be something that we roll out in a short, either a mini course or something like that, because it was like, it made it so quick and easy. So that may be the structure of that, may be something that we're doing, but we'll have that loyalty program, which is a smart loyalty program, which means it is like it's profit centered. It is, it's rewarding for only behaviors that are exceptional in the business. It will help create more business. It helps create better behaviors with consumers and increase the relationship. So not only are you getting higher retention, but you're getting higher sales
Mhm.
off of it. So I'm really excited about that. And then education, they're figuring out ways to take all our entire partner program virtual. And how can you do a hands-on class over Zoom? Like, how can all of those things happen? So that's something that would be able to live on forever, because that's one area that people suffer is when we're under these guidelines and we can only have, let's say, 10 people in the building or whatever it's going to end up being for us, because we don't open until May 18th. So we'll have to wait and see. But, we can't bring education back in the building if stylists are going to have to be there and revenue has to be produced. So we can't just have people in the building. Well, we don't want their education to stop. So what can that look like? And how could we then bring on more partners, never having had them in the building? Like,
Mhm.
how could we bring on people and train them without them having to be in the building? Like, it's just a really interesting time. And then with outreach, we started a Facebook group. We have a specific live going on in that Facebook group every Monday at 8 p.m. There's things that are generating every single thing that we have done, unless it was like a stop the bleeding moment. So like a stop the bleeding moment is like, what's your plan to close? What's your plan to open? Those are stop the bleeding moments. But everything else has been created with the like high space of intention to make sure it's something that we can do moving forward. And what I love more than anything, this is the greatest part of all of it, is every single piece of it has been created by our team, and every single person working together in an area that they feel really strongly and passionate about, or people that were in leadership positions taking ownership of helping guide some of those groups. So it's been really, really powerful, because things have moved along and I see people just taking ownership in things and just taking a vested interest. And we're moving, like, I would say we are moving 100 times faster than we were moving before.
That's what that's exactly what we're experiencing too. I just think because you can't do it all. And so you almost have to rely, if you rely on your team and let them do stuff, they create things that are way smarter than you ever would have created. And they are invested because they're creating it.
Right.
And I think that's exactly with us. Like our boutique, I have a couple girls that like love it. Like the pictures they take from it, I'm like, that's our stuff, man. You made it look like it goes in vogue. But they're so excited and they're so passionate about it. And the girls we're finding the girls that really love doing the live videos, like that is amazing. That's great. And we want to start doing like live videos that aren't even about hair. Like I was talking to my girl, we have so many breweries, local breweries in Fort Wayne. It's like, why don't we do like what's going on in Fort Wayne? So hot breweries that are coming up, cool boutiques that are in the community, like feature the community on some of your lives. Like it doesn't always have to be hair salon. And I think that's where we get stuck, is hair salon world and all the old rules. And it's like, we can create whatever we want. But I love all your ideas that you're doing with your team. That's exciting.
Well, I'm just excited because, I mean, I'm excited always to see things move forward, but it's just, it always amazes me the brilliance that live with people when you just let them do things. You know what I mean? Now we're having to learn, like we learned this morning on our morning call. So I talked to everyone that has like a titled role in the business that focuses on a specific area. We talk every single morning at 8:30, and we were having a moment today where you have to make sure, you know, they say this, and there's several books that highlight silos. And what happens in silos is essentially, it's like, and it's really big in corporate America. You'll see this happen a lot between sales and marketing. Sales and marketing will go like this, and they're each creating the worlds that they want, and nobody's talking to each other. And then they end up like hating each other because nothing, like marketing, everything looks pretty, and sales, everything moves fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like marketing's like slow down, and sales is like hurry up. And, you know, it just ends up being this big fight. But I can see that how that happens. Like we had some tough, not tough debate, but some healthy discussion this morning, because it is like everybody gets in their mode and they like see what they want to do. You know what I mean? And we just have to make sure that we're seeing how to connect it, because it is new to us. It's not new to us. It's sort of in the middle, but having so many people involved in pushing things forward, just looking now at how can we make sure that everyone feels heard? How can we make sure that everyone is able to move forward at the pace that they want to? And, you know, I would rather so instead of saying, okay, sales, now you need to submit everything to marketing, I'd like to look at, in order for them to still move fast, like we were talking about this morning, okay, well, let's just create some let's create some Canva files that are the branding and are the right font and are the this and are the that, so that you guys can just have them and you can plug it in. Like, why does it have to go completely to someone else? However, we have to make sure that it at least does still speak to the coordination of the branding, but how can we do it so it can still be as fast as everybody wants it to? So I'm going to be interested to see how things develop over the next couple of weeks, so that we have good systems set in place where things can move as fast as people want to move them. Because I know for different types of personalities, there are people who like fast, there are people who like perfect, there are people who like just all different types of working styles. And there are people who like immediate, there are people who like just right. And it's interesting to see everybody working together, but it's really cool too, because you're just seeing so much more be able to happen when people are on the same page and we're moving, and people are moving in areas that they're super passionate about. It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay. So let's leave off with one thing. We started this about pressure. We came back to pressure in the middle of it. Just one piece of advice to push off the pressure and take the pressure off yourself. Erin, go.
Oh, whoa. How to take pressure off yourself? Can you give me the secret?
How do you use pressure to your advantage?
I take pressure in. I live in it for a second because I think it's okay to live in it for a second. And then for me, I think sometimes you just got to clear your mind. If you believe in I don't meditate, but I feel like I'm a weirdo. I take baths all the time. I guess that's a secret. For me, my pressure is like when I feel like it's so much anxiety, I'll go get in my bathtub. I need a hot tub for real. But that's my time where I'm just like, sit in quiet. And then usually the answer will come. So I just think give yourself to live in it and give yourself to breathe through it and then move. It's going to come to you. But I mean, I'm not the expert on that. I live in pressure. These shoulders, I don't know if you watch me constantly. I'm like, drop your shoulder, drop your shoulders. As we're talking, they're back up here. I'm like, drop your shoulder, drop. Like I wish I knew that secret. I'm sorry, friends. I don't have a good advice for you.
No, I love it. I think the biggest message there is, Erin, if it's the bath or whatever it is, for me, it's working out. Like for me, pressure for me, I'm such a thinker that if I get quiet, I almost make it worse. I have to like either crank up some music really, really loud, like get my mind completely off of it where I have to shut it down, or I have to go like work out. When I say work out, I'm talking like work out, like no, stop, can't breathe, let's go. So I almost need to stress myself out in a different way, but that's just my personality. But you got to figure out what works for you. The biggest point is don't just sit in it, whine about it. And there's something that Brene Brown says, I'm sure she said it a couple of times, but it's in her book, The Power of Vulnerability. And she said, talk to someone. So when you are feeling vulnerable and feeling under great pressure and like you're going to have a panic attack or combust or whatever, however that shows up for you, is a space where you are feeling super vulnerable, like you feel out of control or you can't handle it or you feel attacked or whatever it is. When that happens, if you are going to talk to someone, she said, talk to someone who's earned the right to hear it. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the most brilliant things because I feel like I have a complex, I would say complex, with not talking to anyone. A lot of times I will hold things in and just keep moving, and that's not healthy either. But most people talk to whoever's right in front of them or whoever will go into the bitch session with them, whoever will comfort them, whoever makes them feel good by not making them feel good, by letting them wallow in it. So talk to someone who's earned the right to hear it. It's like, who's going to have empathy for you? Yes. Who's going to give you the hug that you need if that's what you need? But then who's going to tell you like, hey, you're not showing up for yourself and I love you, but you're not showing up for yourself. Who's going to tell you like, look, take a breath because you're creating this pressure yourself. Like, who's going to say, I love you and I hear you, but man, like, be easier on yourself, or tell those people to shut the F up, or whatever it is that you need to hear. Or you know what? You need to put your freaking panties on and like move in a different direction. Like, who is that person that's earned the right to hear it because they are a good influence in your life? And sometimes we've gotten conditioned to talk to just certain people about certain things, and we end up in a space that is not good for any of us. So for everyone, just please, like figure out what that is for you. Erin gave you her idea and what is good for her, which is like sitting in that space and sitting in a bath. I probably need to try that, like throw some lavender and chamomile in it, some Epsom salt, like something to calm me down. I'm sure everyone in my life would be like, Ashley, please.
I work out too, though. That's another one. I think it just depends on what does that special occasion require at that moment.
Yes.
Do I need to sit or do I need to go?
I've had so many people tell me like meditate, yoga. I'm like, I actually love yoga and I actually love meditating. but there are times in my life where I want to do it. And there are times in my life that I can't. I will die.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, Erin, I want to tell you thank you. Guys, please share this. Anyone that knows this, share this, follow us. We're here every single Wednesday at 9 a.m. It was so easy to do it on YouTube. Maybe we'll just push it through YouTube and we'll just tell everybody to come here because it's so much easier to do it that way. I'm gonna have to check it out. I gotta figure out technology better.
And I don't think it's you though. Like I really think that Facebook during this time of day, it's too hard to go live. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I don't think it's you. I think you're doing the right steps. It's not working with us.
No, it's not. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I just appreciate you every single week. You are a breath of fresh air. And I always love hearing your perspective on everything. I'm excited to see what you guys do. And especially if you guys do open, then we're going to have a really crazy coffee talk next Wednesday.
Mhm.
And I can't wait to hear all about all of it.
Well, fingers crossed.
All right, Erin. Thank you so much. You have an
Thank
awesome day.
you. You too. Bye.
Bye.